to outline the devastating impact that COVID-19 has had on our businesses, but more importantly, as the previous speakers have said, to discuss the measures that are now required as we navigate our way through and recover from this crisis. I'll tell you briefly about Shannon Group. We're a commercial semi-state company. We employ, and pre-COVID actually, we employed more than 600 people across our businesses, Shannon Airport, Shannon Commercial Properties and Shannon Heritage. And through our International Aviation Services Centre, we support the development of a cluster of over 80 aviation companies based in and around Shannon Airport. The group itself is a key driver of economic growth, not only in the Midwest, but right along the Atlantic seaboard. Our activities support 46,000 jobs, and Shannon Airport itself is vital. It's the lifeblood of the region. The connectivity it provides is vital for business and tourism industries located across our region, providing access to international markets. And it's also a key enabler for government to deliver on its own stated aim of a balanced national economy envisaged under Ireland 2040. Our business, as you've heard here this morning, and the wider aviation, tourism and hospitality sectors in particular have weathered many economic storms in the past, but never on the scale caused by the current pandemic. While we will eventually recover from this, it will undoubtedly take a number of years for activity levels to return to anything like normal. And right now, the aviation industry is on its knees. Like airports globally, Shannon has witnessed an almost total collapse in airport traffic, connectivity and revenues. Our passenger numbers have been declining since scheduled services recommenced on the 1st of July. And we were hopeful at that stage when Ryanair brought back in 16 services that we would see some pick up, and with talks of the green list coming on board. But unfortunately, we've seen a decline. August, we were down 86%, and that declined further in September. We were down 91%. And if this trend continues, we expect to see a decline of over 80% in our passenger numbers for this year. Faced with the fact that since the beginning of March, our group revenue has been down over 1.3 million a week. We're projected overall drop in group revenue by 60% this year. Our focus has very much been on taking the necessary steps to allow us survive, recover and rebuild from this crisis. Early on, we took decisive short-term actions to preserve our businesses and to protect jobs for the future. I have to acknowledge that it's been a very, very difficult time for our employees and our customers and everybody operating at the airport. Restoring air transport connectivity is critical as we learn to coexist with the virus. We must find a way to facilitate the reopening of access for business and tourism as soon and as fast as public considerations can allow. Government action is urgently required. And I welcome the Minister's confirmation that Ireland are willing to adopt the pan-European traffic light system, and we've discussed that at length here today, and to agree a European-wide testing protocol to allow aviation reopen in a safe manner. Importantly now, we need financial supports for our airports and airlines as we recover and start the slow process of rebuilding from this crisis. The continuation of the current travel restrictions are heavily impacting on passenger numbers and confidence. Testing instead of restriction of movements has to be the way forward, and it's now imperative that we find a way to safeguard vital connectivity. If we don't, the consequences are unthinkable. The continued government guidance warning against non-essential air travel has had the effect of increasing the probability of further job losses throughout the country, long-term loss of connectivity, further imbalanced regional development and economic damage, and a real risk to our foreign direct investment, a sector that as a country we're heavily reliant on now in this pandemic. For our part, we are working with peers in the industry exploring options including pre-departure COVID testing regime, which is already proving effective and is tried and tested in 15 other countries. The impact of the pandemic has been devastating on aviation and tourism, and that is why the urgent implementation of the full recommendations of the Aviation Task Force are the key to assist the sector. Included in these is the much-needed stimulus package for airports in the regions to enable us to rebuild traffic. The COVID pandemic has caused massive disruption. It has changed how we work and how we live, and I spoke about that when we were here in July in the special committee. We can and will get through this, but we need decisive action now. We need to support this vital industry that in turn supports 140,000 jobs across the country. So action is needed now.